Hey guys, it's me, the Bombay Chef Varun Namdar, and welcome to Get Curried. You know what fascinates me in the Indian film industry? The use of mustard fields. I, as a chef, see it actually as my ingredient basket, and I wonder what these two are actually doing in my ingredient basket. I'm talking about mustard as an ingredient, and this really is the hero or the core of today's recipe. The recipe is mustard chicken. Mustard chicken is relatively a very simple chicken curry. Now I'm going to divide this recipe into three parts. The first one is marinating the chicken. The second one is actually making the paste of mustard. And the third one is the cooking process. Let's begin with the first step, which is marinating the chicken. I'm using curry cut of chicken, to which I'm adding salt as required. Of course, you can add later as well. To this, I'm going to add in red chili powder, not too much because it's a predominantly yellow colored gravy. This red chili is primarily for that spice, for that punch, for that kick, for that pungency. Let's add in turmeric. This in a way is going to accentuate the color of the curry. Of course, mustard, we're going to use a combination of black and yellow. When this gets ground, it's going to give you a deep yellow ochred paste. But this is going to bring that color to yet another level. Slightly more than you would normally use in any curry. Sugar, just to kind of balance the taste and flavor of this entire curry, because mustard could have that slight pungent taste or slight bitter after note. Sugar will just kind of bring all of that to normalcy. Let's add in mustard oil. And to this, I'm also adding dahi or curd. Let's mix all of this well. I'm first breaking all these little knots that a curd normally has, because you do not want that mouthfeel, that lumpy mouthfeel in the curry. So let's mix all of this well. Ensure that the curd becomes nice and creamy, and then you start rubbing it onto the curry cuts of chicken. Now, of course, if you have some time at hand, you can make this the previous night. You can keep this marinated for 2 to 3 hours. Make this when your guests are just kind of coming in. Another thing is, if you can make this curry in its entirety a day before, it beautifully matures the next day. And trust me, the taste is very different. Let me keep this aside for a little while and allow me to wash my hands. Let's begin with the mustard paste now. For this, I'm going to use mustard, and like I said, a combination of black mustard and yellow mustard. Now, case in point, in case you're using 4 tablespoons of mustard for the recipe, 3 tablespoons could be the black one, 1 tablespoon the yellow one, just kind of to bring in that balance of taste and flavor. This is soaked and kept ready. You can soak this like for an hour, and that's more than enough for this recipe. Now, in case you get bored of soaking the mustard, and I'm deliberately using the word bored because we all go through these phases and it's absolutely fine. You get a lot of different kinds of mustard pastes and powders in the market. You can put all of those to use. You get Dijon mustard, French mustard, English mustard, different kinds of motards and things like that. You also get mustard powder in the market. Take 3 tablespoons of the powder, put it in the marination, and make the curry just the way it is. I'm also adding garlic in this recipe. You can add garlic paste if you're using any of those options. You also get Kashundi, which is a typical Indian variety of mustard paste. You can put that to use. That has a lot of other ingredients as well, but that's absolutely fine. End of it, the flavor, the notes is all going to be similar. Now, what have I added to this? Black mustard, yellow mustard, both soaked and drained, garlic in the form of cloves which are peeled, and green chilies for that beautiful spike in this recipe. Cover this with a cap and grind this without water in a nice, fine and smooth paste. This has become nice and smooth. Let's move on to the next step, and that is slicing an onion and cooking the curry. For this, I'm going to heat a pan on high flame. I'm going to cut a red onion into thin slices. Onions are cut and ready. In the hot pan, let's add in mustard oil. I'm just keeping like a tablespoon aside because I'm going to add that right towards the end of the recipe. Let me add in the sliced onions in the mustard oil. We need to stir this for like a minute or so till the onions turn translucent. Once this is achieved, I'm going to add in the marinated chicken pieces. Allow the chicken to sear on high flame a minute or so, and that should be good. It's important to seal in the juices of the chicken because that way it cooks beautifully well till it's wonderful, tender and juicy. The pieces of chicken have seared well. Let's add in the mustard, garlic and green chili paste. Let's mix this well. Allow this to also sear for say 30 to 40 seconds. This curry has a beautiful emerald-like color, emerald yellow, deep yellow to faint yellow, depends on the amount of turmeric that you use in this recipe. It would also depend on the quality of mustard that you use. Well, some have the tendency of turning borderline brown, but what we are looking at in this curry, my mouth is already salivating, is that wonderful emerald-like golden yellow color. Time to add in water. I'm going to add in like half a cup or a cup more than what would be required in terms of balancing the consistency of a curry. Time to also add in salt as required, remembering the fact that salt was already added while marinating the chicken, but this time we're keeping the consistency of the curry in mind. Also remember the fact that this is going to reduce while it gets cooked. One quick stir, we cover this and allow this to cook for 20 to 25 minutes or till the chicken is wonderfully cooked and ready. With this, our chicken should be done and ready. Let's have a quick check. The chicken is well done and the curry has also reduced to the thickness and to the consistency that we would prefer. Let's give this a quick stir and this goes straight on the dinner table. Now, whether you eat this with a bowl of steamed rice, chapatis, rotis, pulkas, puris, whether of whole wheat or of refined flour, make this for your family, make this for your friends. And this is me, Varun Namdar, signing off.